In the vast expanse of existence, the pursuit of happiness has been a perennial endeavor for humanity. We have sought it in the grandeur of success, the warmth of relationships, and the accumulation of material wealth. Yet, in the midst of this external quest, there lies a hidden treasure that eludes many, an ethereal sanctuary within, where internal bliss resides as heaven in human form. The state of being, a term often relegated to the periphery of our consciousness, is the very essence of our existence. It transcends the tangible accomplishments and external validations that society so ardently celebrates. It is, fundamentally, about how we see ourselves and feel mentally, sculpted by the chisel of a healthy imagination. Imagine for a moment that the mind is a vast, unexplored landscape, a fertile ground where the seeds of our thoughts and emotions are sown. This internal terrain, much like the soil that cradles the roots of life, determines the quality of the fruits we bear. To cultivate internal bliss, we must become conscious gardeners of the soul, nurturing the soil within with care and intention. The metaphor of soil and soul is not merely linguistic whimsy. It is a profound symbol that underscores the interconnectedness of our mental and emotional realms. Just as a gardener tends to the soil, carefully selecting nutrients and removing weeds, we too must tend to our inner landscape. The thoughts we cultivate, the emotions we allow to take root, and the beliefs we nurture all contribute to the overall fertility of our internal soil. In the garden of the soul, the seeds of positivity and self-love can sprout into towering trees of confidence and resilience. Conversely, the weeds of negativity and self-doubt, if left unchecked, can strangle the life out of the most vibrant flowers of joy and contentment. It is a delicate dance between cultivation and discernment, a dance that requires awareness. Awareness. A beacon of light in the caverns of the mind. To be aware is to be present, to observe the ebb and flow of thoughts without judgment. It is to recognize the patterns that govern our internal landscape, and, in doing so, gain mastery over the garden of the soul. Awareness is the key that unlocks the gate to internal bliss, for how can one tend to the garden if they are blind to its contours? Consider, for a moment, the patterns that shape our internal reality. Like ripples in a pond, they emanate from the stones of our experiences, each leaving an indelible mark on the surface of our consciousness. Some patterns are harmonious, creating a symphony of well-being and fulfillment. Others, however, are discordant notes that reverberate through the soul, casting shadows on the canvas of our inner world. These patterns, be they uplifting or disheartening, often find their roots in triggers, those catalysts that awaken dormant emotions and shape the contours of our mental landscape. Triggers can be as subtle as a passing comment, as powerful as a traumatic event, or as insidious as the relentless comparison with others. They are the stones that create the ripples, and awareness is the stone skipped deliberately across the surface, disrupting the patterns that no longer serve us. In the garden of the soul, triggers are the storms that test the resilience of our internal soil. How we weather these storms, how we navigate the turbulent winds of change, defines the state of our being. It is here, amidst the tempest of emotions, that the metaphor of soil and soul gains its utmost significance. For just as a well-nourished soil can withstand the fiercest of storms, a nurtured soul can weather the tumult of triggers and emerge stronger on the other side. Yet, the path to internal bliss is not without its challenges. In a world that often measures success by external metrics, the pursuit of a healthy state of being can seem like a countercultural rebellion. The societal emphasis on status and accomplishment can cast a long shadow, obscuring the light of internal fulfillment. It is a shadow that, if left unexamined, can lead to a regression in the status of our being. Status, in this context, is not the external markers of success that society parades before us. It is the internal barometer of our well-being, the thermometer that gauges the temperature of our internal bliss. When we allow external validations to dictate our worth, when we succumb to the societal pressure to conform, the status of our being can regress. Picture a garden neglected, overrun by the weeds of comparison, self-doubt, and the relentless pursuit of validation. The once vibrant flowers of joy and self-love wither in the shadows, overshadowed by the towering weeds that threaten to choke the life out of the internal landscape. This regression in status is not a reflection of our intrinsic worth, but rather a consequence of losing sight of the internal compass that guides us toward bliss. The contrast between the pursuit of status and the cultivation of internal bliss is stark. While the former is often characterized by external trappings, titles, possessions, accolades, the latter is an internal alchemy, a transformation of the soul that transcends the ephemeral nature of worldly achievements. It is, in essence, the embodiment of the age-old wisdom that happiness is an inside job. In the pursuit of internal bliss, the soil of the soul becomes sacred ground. It is here that we plant the seeds of self-compassion, watered by the gentle rains of mindfulness. It is here that we uproot the weeds of comparison, clearing space for the flowers of authenticity to bloom. It is here that we tend to the garden with the tender hands of self-love, recognizing that the status of our being is not contingent on external validations, but on the rich tapestry of our internal landscape. To be a gardener of the soul is to be attuned to the subtle whispers of the heart, to listen intently to the language of the soul. It is a journey of self-discovery, an excavation of the layers that shroud the true self. In the quiet moments of introspection, we uncover the gems of our authenticity, polishing them until they shine brightly in the tapestry of our being. Symbolism, too, plays a pivotal role in this journey. The garden, with its cyclical seasons of growth and dormancy, mirrors the rhythms of our internal world. The soil, enriched by the decay of past experiences, becomes the fertile ground for the seeds of transformation. The flowers, each unique in its beauty, symbolize the diversity of our emotions and the kaleidoscope of our experiences. Consider, for a moment, the symbolism of a seed. In its dormant state, it appears lifeless, a tiny capsule of potential waiting to unfurl. Yet, within its humble exterior lies the blueprint of a majestic tree, a testament to the latent power within. Similarly, within the recesses of our being, dormant potentials await discovery. The journey toward internal bliss is, in essence, the unfurling of our latent capacities, the blossoming of our truest selves. As we navigate the garden of the soul, we encounter the shadows, the aspects of ourselves that we may deem unworthy or unlovable. Yet, it is in embracing these shadows, in acknowledging the darkness within, that we find the fertile ground for growth. Like the compost that nourishes the soil, our shadows, when integrated with love and acceptance, become the catalysts for transformation. The symbolism extends to the weeds as well. These unwelcome intruders in the garden of the soul are the thoughts and beliefs that hinder our growth. Yet, in their tenacity, they offer valuable lessons. By uprooting them with intention and replacing them with the seeds of positivity, we engage in the ongoing dance of transformation, a dance that mirrors the perpetual cycles of growth and renewal in the natural world. The journey toward internal bliss is, at its core, a journey toward self-love. It is a profound act of self-care, a commitment to nurturing the soil of the soul with tenderness and compassion. In a world that often demands our attention and energy, carving out moments of stillness becomes a radical act of rebellion, a rebellion against the noise that drowns the whispers of the heart. In the quietude of self-reflection, we become architects of our internal reality. We mold the clay of our thoughts with intention, shaping them into vessels of positivity and possibility. The canvas of our emotions becomes a palette, and we, the artists, choose the hues that paint the tapestry of our being. In this act of creation, we reclaim our agency, becoming conscious co-creators of our internal bliss. The pursuit of internal bliss is not a solitary endeavor. It is a collective dance of interconnected souls. As we tend to our individual gardens, we contribute to the collective landscape of humanity. The ripples of our internal transformation extend beyond the confines of our individual being, touching the lives of those around us. In cultivating internal bliss, we become beacons of light, illuminating the path for others to embark on their own journey of self-discovery. And so, the metaphor of soil and soul beckons us to embark on a sacred journey, a journey toward the internal bliss that is heaven in human form. It is a journey of self-love, awareness, and transformation, a journey that transcends the confines of time and space. As we navigate the garden of the soul, may we do so with intention, tending to the soil with love and nurturing the seeds of our authenticity. For in the quiet moments of introspection, in the deliberate act of self-care, we discover that heaven is not a distant realm reserved for the afterlife. No, heaven is here and now, within the sacred sanctuary of our being. It is the internal bliss that blossoms when we tend to the garden of the soul with love, aware that the status of our being is a reflection of the richness within.